Good morning, Stage 1 student colleagues who are progressing into Stage 2. Welcome to this module pre-registration briefing. We're going to try and keep this quite factual and quite brief so that we don't overload you, but do feel free to ask any questions. We'll signpost you to the appropriate places to ask those questions. So good morning and a welcome from me. This briefing this morning will cover a little bit of advice about making good choices on your programme, alternatives that are available to some of the subject modules that are contained on the CH website and now completely up to date, where and how to get more advice and when to do that. So please do listen to the rest of the slides. And following this briefing, there is also a briefing from my colleague Deborah MacLeod around how to actually practically make your choices via the student portal. When making a good choice around your Stage 2 study, there are a number of things that you need to consider. I'm going to go through the PowerPoint and add in some information as I think appropriate. Remember, if you chose to take 3 subjects in Stage 1 because you were interested in all 3 subjects, or because you wanted to try something new, for example, like a language, then you have one decision to make now. Do you want to continue with all of those 3 subjects? Has one turned out to be not what you expected, or has your wild card turned out to be something that you're really passionate about? So do you want to continue with all of those 3 subjects? At this point, if you are studying 3 subjects, you can drop one of those subjects and continue with 2 subjects across Stage 2 and Stage 3. So that is one decision, and making a good choice is very important in terms of 2 or 3 subjects. If you do study 2 subjects moving forward, you then have a further choice to make. Do you want to study those subjects equally, and therefore 60 credits of each across the year, or would you choose to study one subject more than another? Perhaps you have found that you like politics more than your history of art, and therefore you'll study 80 credits of politics in second year and 40 credits of history of art, making up a major minor. That will continue usually or typically for the rest of your degree. Which modules do you want to take next year when you've decided 2 or 3 subjects, major, minor? Then you need to look at the modules themselves. And in relation to that, I would ask you to think about areas that you're interested in. So which modules jump out to you in terms of their content or their approach? Do they explore the right era in English literature that you're interested in, or the right period in history, or topics or contexts that you're interested in? So look at the module in as much detail as possible. And you may need to reflect on your first year performance. What did you enjoy? What were you good at in first year? And what has the feedback that you've had from first year within modules helped you to understand about yourself, how you learn and how you study? They will all help you to make a good choice at Stage 2. Your degree also needs to make sense to you. So think about coherence and progression through your degree, how to deepen your knowledge in areas that you're interested in and move away from those areas that are not interesting you as much. Remember, all of our web pages are right up to date now. Subject choices are clearly labelled in those subject areas. Any prerequisites, anything that you might need to think about in making a good choice in that module is there for you. So please do scrutinise those pages. Just a word of advice, don't look at modules available to students on single honours programmes or in other subject areas. Your curriculum is made up of the web pages that are available to you in the Combined Honours Programme website. You also have your programme guide that you can look to, which is stored currently in Blackboard and will be migrated to Canvas from August the 1st. So look at that in Blackboard currently in the CH community. Your programme handbook gives you a good guide to how the programme works. Don't forget, at Stage 2 you can take a Stage 1 module. 20 credits of that you can choose in the year. Now that might be useful If you think back to stage 1 where you had a clash so you couldn't take a module that you were really interested in, now might be the time for you to pick that module up. Or you found an interest in another area that you would like to explore more, and actually there's a module in stage 1 that you hadn't considered last year and you would like to consider now. So 20 credits from stage 1 modules you can add to your stage 2 program this year. And finally, making your choices is to look ahead to your next year. Do you want to do a dissertation in final year? You know you don't have to do a dissertation, but if you want to, stage 2 has some very interesting and very clear progression modules that enable you to take a dissertation in stage 3. So do look for those. If you go to the stage 3 modules, look for the dissertation you're interested in. It will tell you whether you have to have studied a stage 2 research or project planning module that will help you to prepare for that final year module. So please do that. And equally thinking about placement years, things that will help you, or modules that will help you to plan effectively for that placement. I do hope that's useful. When you're considering your choices for next year, do think about stepping outside of your subject area and think more broadly about being work ready, develop your self-awareness, explore and develop your professional skills, and work in roles and experiences that just move beyond the module or the content-based curriculum that we offer at the university. They prove to be very successful for learning. They're very successful for building confidence and self-awareness, and they're a really nice addition to your transcript in terms of stepping out of that subject area and exploring other ways of learning effectively. So this year you have 4 20-credit year-long modules available to you to explore, so please do explore them. If you're thinking about taking a role in combined honours, particularly a peer mentor role perhaps, or a role in our student staff committee, or one with our PASS team, our study support team, then you might want to consider doing the second year HSS 2100 module, which is called Graduate Development. It really does supplement the experience of working in a role like that and working with your student colleagues. There's a lot of support in those in that module, and there's a lot of help for you to improve your working practice in the role and your working practice as an effective human being as well. Ruth Furlonger delivers those modules and is the module leader. So if you have any questions in relation to that specifically, then please do email her. She would be more than happy to respond to any questions. The second module available in part from the Combined Honours Centre is a module that I will be leading in second semester. It's HSS 2300 and it's a project module. It is very similar in terms of its educational context to the final year project modules. It's something that you can use to explore part of a curriculum that isn't perhaps in the content-focused modules that you are looking at in your subject areas, or you have a very particular desire to draw together your subjects or a theme or a topic, particularly real-world issues, I think, that are pertinent and useful to explore, not only for your development in your academic study, but also that will contribute new knowledge to the discipline or the area, the topic that you're undertaking research in. So that's a very open module where you can choose what you study and how you study it. But it is directed and supported and scaffolded because it's a second year module, and we appreciate you maybe haven't undertaken personal research before. So there is a process of workshops to help you to skill up. There's also group supervision to help you to share your practices and your learning as you move along. And there's some very careful thinking and support. So that might be something that you're interested in. We also have the university also has 2 careers modules, and they are NCL Y007 and NCL2100, I would like you to Google those modules or have a look at them on the CH website and see whether they add anything if you're undertaking work practice whilst you're at university or a voluntary role, or you're thinking about startups or enterprise in the future. They might be something that will help you to gain skills, experience, and confidence in those areas. This digest helps you to think about getting more advice to make good choices and ask any questions you might have about the curriculum that's available to you. We do want you to reach out. This is a community, and although we're living through a very interesting period of time where we don't get to see you present in person as much as we'd like to, that advice and support is still very much available to you at the end of a computer screen or at the end of a phone. So the pre-registration webpage is your first port of call for any advice. It has some really helpful frequently asked questions that you can access and will probably help you in what you're looking for, things that we get asked time and time again every year. Don't forget your personal tutor is assigned to you because they share a discipline in common with you and should have developed a personal relationship with you across the last year. If you've not met your personal tutor before, please do reach out to them, particularly if you've got some advice about moving into stage 2 and how your studies might progress. Your subject advisors are a group of academics who are specifically attached to the combined honours degree to give you discipline and subject advice. So if you're thinking about a linguistics module or an alternative to that, then please do get in touch with our linguistics subject advisor and talk to them about which might be better in terms of your interests, your skills and your progression. The centre staff, including myself, Ruth Furlonger, module leaders for stage 2 modules, you can get in touch with us via email and ask for a Teams or video call, or you can contact our emergency phone, which Deborah McLeod holds currently at home. So the contact number is there on the screen for you. And don't forget that if you want some contact or some advice from people who may have undertaken those modules in the past, then your peers are really good sources of advice. And don't forget that your peer mentors will be more than happy to answer a WhatsApp or a Snapchat or an email about maybe what choices to make next year. So you have a lot of support around you, but this year, rather than it being right in front of you, you'll need to step out and access that. But please do that before the 27th so that you're making good choices and in good time. Now that you've thought carefully about making good choices, don't forget that you will log into S3P to undertake this process of booking onto modules. It's the same system as you used last year, although it probably seems so long ago, in September 19 to book onto your modules. It will be open to you at 9 o'clock on Tuesday the 28th of July and close on the 2nd of August. So just that 1 week. Your friends on your other degrees will have different slots, so do follow your own instructions and not what your friends are doing. If you're booking onto capped modules, then do get onto that booking system for 9 o'clock. And if you're not booking onto capped modules, then please leave those early few hours to those booking onto capped modules so that they can get on and get that done and leave it a little later in the day. My final point is I wish you a lovely summer, and I hope you manage to get some rest and recuperation, and I very much hope to see you at some point in the coming academic year. Before you go though, just switch over and do watch Deborah's presentation and listen to her audio about how to make these choices in S3P so that they're recorded and can be approved swiftly. Thank you for your time, and I wish you well. Bye, Asa.